Hello and welcome to the Evolve Mind, Body and Soul podcast. I'm your host, Ellie, founder of Evolve with Ellie. And as promised, I'm going to talk today about the subconscious mind. Now, there's essentially two parts of your mind. There's a conscious part and your subconscious part. And your conscious mind is technically your thinking mind. It tries to use willpower to control behaviours and your habits and beliefs. And the other part is your subconscious mind, which is always being updated with information from your life and our experiences. It's non-judgemental and is incapable of reasoning. So a bit like an unruly toddler, really. It's where all your beliefs and your habits reside. It's essentially like your hard drive. And as I said, your beliefs and habits reside in there, and how it's programmed determines how you behave and how you show up in the world. So the subconscious mind has actually got a greater influence than your conscious mind. In fact, 95% of your decisions and your life are lived through your subconscious mind. And so it's pretty important to know about this stuff, because up until the age of 7, we're in what's known as receptive mode. And in the first 3 years of our life, over 1 million neural connections called synapses are created. And then all of those things in the receptive mode, those first 7 years, everything we see, experience, well, all of those experiences are stored in your subconscious. And because your subconscious is non-judgmental and it doesn't really reason, it just absorbs everything. And everything is, so essentially you're like a sponge, and everything you're exposed to is just going into your subconscious mind. And despite being surrounded by wonderful, hopefully wonderful people, all well-meaning, well, sometimes we're all human. So the adults around us, although they meant well, they actually can add things to our subconscious mind and to our experience that isn't actually in our best interest. So try to think of a time, that you were told something. So maybe sometime at school you were told, oh, you're good at maths. And then now what do you hear yourself saying to other people? Oh yeah, I'm no good at maths. And actually you might not even be aware that it came from the teacher telling you 30, 40, 50 years ago that you're no good at maths. And actually it quite possibly and quite probably isn't true. That's just could have been a flippant remark. It could have been how the teacher was feeling. They might have had a bad day and you were irritating them in the lesson, and so they just said a not very nice comment to you. But this is why the subconscious mind and understanding it is the utmost important thing you can do for yourself and your life, because literally our lives are determined by what is stored in there. And if it doesn't reason, it's like an unruly toddler. It just, does its own thing. Then unless you've ever sifted through what's in your subconscious mind, then anything, mainly the stuff that you learn up until the age of 7, is in there, and it's impacting how you show up in the world and how you deal with everyday life. It's your beliefs about yourself. And so, like I was saying about the teacher thing, your parents, I'm a parent and I try my best, but I know at times things, you open your mouth and silly things come out in the heat of the moment. And I have an awareness of this. So I'm very mindful that I will speak to my children about things and, and apologize. But not everybody has that awareness. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I try my hardest, but it wasn't a thing back when I was growing up. It was just, you did as you were told. You were a child, and you looked up to the adults and you respected them. I'm not saying disrespect the adults, but they were doing the best that they could with the knowledge that they had at the time. And now we've got such an awareness of our mindset and how trauma and our experiences affect how we show up. And that is your subconscious mind. All of that is stored in there. So let me ask you, have you ever sifted through your subconscious and cleared out the shizzle that isn't serving you? Nope, didn't think so. I hadn't either until I turned, I think, about 30, and suddenly had a bit of an awareness and started I've been reading and researching mindset and psychology for the past 20 years. So I've always been interested in it, but it wasn't until recent, in the last nearly 10 years. I'm getting older, big birthday this year. But it wasn't until I learned about these things that I had some real light bulb moments. I was like, oh, I'm showing up like that in my life here because I've got a belief stored in my subconscious from way back, from an experience I had when I was a child. So it's so important to take time out and reflect upon. Now, like I said before, your subconscious mind is like a hard drive. There is a ton of stuff in there, and I'm not suggesting that you're going to have to go through however many years you've been on this planet. I'm not suggesting that you sift through it all, but the first important key to not letting it affect you day in, day out, and be the creator of your life is awareness. Now that you've listened to this, you might want to listen to it again, but now you have awareness and you can start questioning if you behave in a way that doesn't feel in alignment with who you want to be. And, sometimes you might act in a certain way and you're shocked at behaving like that. Then now you've got this awareness and you can start asking yourself, well, why did I behave like that? Where has that come from? What experience has led me to behave like that? It might be something in your childhood. And often it's something that the seed is planted when you're a child. And then just like, think of an analogy. So say somebody says something to you, like I'll use the example of the teacher. The teacher says, oh, you're rubbish at maths when you're in primary school. Okay, in the receptive year, it just goes into your subconscious mind. And then your brain starts looking for evidence to support that. So whatever's gone into your subconscious mind, your brain is then looking for evidence to support that, to validate it. And that's essentially like your ego going, oh yeah, you are right. Yeah, they said that because of you do this or you do that. And so throughout your life, then things will happen and your perception of them will be, oh yes, that's happened because I'm not good at maths, because Miss so-and-so said I'm not. Or you might mess something up in a job like 30 years after that comment was made, but you've had a lifetime of telling yourself you're not good at maths, and other people may have said it or similar things. And so it shows up in your life, but you're not really aware of where it came from. You just believe it to be true. Well, I'm here to tell you, most of what is in your subconscious mind isn't true. Probably a lot of it is not true. It's just stuff that we accumulated on our hard drive in our subconscious mind, and we didn't know that we needed to filter it. Who knew? Well, now you do. So have an awareness of it. It's key to experiencing a wonderful life, because there are things that are stored in there. It's like carrying around a rucksack of bricks, like all day, every day. You just don't know. I mean, obviously that would be heavy and weigh you down. Well, that's all the mess that's in your subconscious mind, unless you've done the work and reflected on what's in there or what's serving you and what's not. That is weighing you down. And until you learn how to get rid of it, that bag of bricks is coming with you. So on that note, I'll love you and I'll leave you. I'll just say and remind you, now you've got awareness. Awareness is key. It's the first step into putting that bag down, one brick at a time. So big love. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll be with you on the next episode. Cheers. Bye.